Hey, all you Disney fanatics, nerds, and dreamers out there. George, your Disney family man, is back, and I have a very good friend with me joining today. My friend Ethan, also known as the theme park wizard.
Woo! Hello, guys.
So I asked him to join me today for a nice, lengthy Disney discussion. We just don't have one topic. We're going to cover a little bit of everything that's going around the kingdom. And I am also wearing my theme park wizard shirt. Had to wear the attire for the occasion. So how have you been?
Oh, quite fantastic. I've been missing Disneyland Resort. I haven't been there since July 4th. Woo-wee. So I'm hoping to go back for the holidays sometime between November and December. I wanted to go for this month, but that Halloween's coming up too fast, and I just can't get on Guardians of the Galaxy Monsters after dark in 12 days. So, you know, gonna go for the holidays and should be super exciting. I'm going to film lots of great content over there.
Awesome. And everyone that's watching or listening, definitely check out Ethan's channel on on YouTube, and you could also follow him on Twitter as well because he has some very interesting videos and content that he puts out. So, speaking of which, I've never been on Mission Breakout with Monsters After Dark. I've been on just the original Mission Breakout because I wasn't at Disneyland during Halloween time. Have you ever done?
Yes, I went on it. Its inaugural year, and then afterwards, and this is the first time I won't be able to do it. But it's so fun that the lighting outside is dark and mysterious. Actually, side note, California Adventures lighting for Halloween is wow. It's probably the best in all the Disney parks. I'll tell you why, because it's a unified theme of purple, green, and red. So every land besides, well, you can include Pixar here because the Incredicoaster is red anyway, but everything, like you walk down Buena Vista Street and it's like purple, everything's purple. They have the bats that are now, I guess, projection mapped on Carthay Circle. You have Make a Left in the Hollywood Land. Even Hollywood Land's purple. And that place is, no, they never give any money over there. And you walk, and then Mission Breakouts and these instead of red and green at night, it's these purple and reds, and they utilize that black strip with lightning strikes. It's super cool. And
Oh,
you go in, and um the cast members are wearing like the little hazmat suits, and they're running around as everything's going crazy, and there's alarms going off, and everything go in the queue, and it's all red, and then the pre-show with a rocket. There's there's it's like the TVs go like in and out and stuff, like everything's like chaos. And then you go in on the ride itself, and then the elevator is like all chaos. The audio there's two versions, I guess, because one version you go and there's like no audio till about the middle of the ride. Then there's audio. Then another one, it has the audio from the beginning, like it's the song, really cool song, Monsters After Dark, I think it's called. And then up and down, and then you go up to the picture, and then the doors open, and then the girl says, like, please take your belongings as you're exiting, but because it's malfunctioning, so it's acting as if they're giving the exit spiel when you're really all the way up there opening up for the picture, and then it just drops. It's some cool stuff. And then there's the lights are just flashing, like the lights flash with the music, so it's like boom, 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 and then shoo. It's so cool. My favorite version.
you're making me want to come back out so I could ride it.
It's so cool. It is arguably better than everything. It's one of my favorite versions of that ride
Nice.
ever.
Well, and now,
Especially when you have a cast member, especially on a cast member that's acting with it. Like if you look on YouTube, if you look on a Mission Breakout, the POV, or Monsters After Dark, there's this one cast member with glasses. When the doors open, he like jumps, and then when the doors open again, he jumps. He like is into it, and that makes it much better.
That's great. Well, I do know, like with the Halloween season going on, DCA has the Oogie Boogie Bash that's going on now. I mean, as far as
Yes.
what I've heard that it has a lot of positive reviews. I mean, some mixed things here and there, but overall, I've heard a lot of people prefer it than the party over at Disneyland.
Well, yeah, the Oogie Bash actually the prices went up an average of $10 from last year, and it sold out 2 weeks earlier than last year. And they released additional tickets, and those all sold out within a few days as well. And from what I've seen, looks great. The New World of Color has an actual storyline, which looks pretty nice evolution of the show. The the street trails, and I like how the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail is like kind of like a maze, like one of those Halloween Horror Nights
Yeah,
mazes
I
type
saw that.
thing.
That looked really cool.
And that's pretty awesome. And I like it. There seems like a lot to do with the dance parties and the parade and um the extra projection mapping decorations they have. So I think it's a big hit. They did knock that one out of the park. I can't wait to see what they do to potentially enhance it even more next year.
And I love how Oogie Boogie actually has his own themed event incorporated into the parks because I love the
Yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas, and I think honestly, I'm starting to notice with the Nightmare Before Christmas that they're getting small things more here and there
hmm
embedded
And
into
they
the park.
should, because I mean, Haunted Mansion Holiday every year has soaring wait times. So now we have a Nightmare Before Christmas event in each park, or thing in each park, which is a great. Yeah, Haunted Mansion Holiday. For as many people online that hate it, it never shows to the general public because the wait times are way higher than the average amount Haunted Mansion wait times.
And they need to bring some of that love over to World. We need some Nightmare Before Christmas
You
overall.
know, you could. I don't know if we could work on it. I guess it could.
I mean, I
Think
don't
on that.
necessarily mean that they don't have to really change the mansion because I do know, a lot of people because it's a bigger tourist destination that a lot of people come to see the original mansion. But maybe just, I don't know, add something with the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, I'm sure they can do find a one ride because yeah, your mansion also because since your mansion actually looks like a haunted mansion, looks kind of different. I feel like I mean I guess it could work with the decorations. I don't know. Actually, I like how with our mansion now the decorations outside and the music, it's great. It's definitely my favorite version of haunted mansion. I don't know why some people, those Disney purist people online don't seem to like that overlay. They say it sticks around too long. And I'm like, clearly for a reason that has much people enjoy
Yeah.
that more, way more than the
Well, and especially
actual
since
haunted.
a lot of people can't get there, exactly on that date. And
Yeah,
if
exactly.
they did, it would hit max capacity. So they have
hmm
to stretch it out a bit to give everyone a chance.
Yeah, and it's it's thematically correct. Halloween, Christmas. It should stay around from
Yeah,
Halloween
it's
to
perfect. They have
Christmas.
it for 2 seasons.
And our next, do you get Small World holiday over there?
No.
Because Small World closes on Monday for that Small World holiday overlay. Oh, wow, you don't get Small World
Yeah,
holiday. You don't get any overlay,
you
do
guys
you?
get a lot more of the seasonal overlays, where with World we don't really get too many.
Well, that's very interesting. Except you guys are getting, I guess, what during the Christmas party, at least a couple things. Autopia, I think, right? There's a few,
I think yeah,
or Space Mountain or something.
I mean they're small enhancements just for the holiday, but we'll see how that goes. I don't think it'll hold a candle to what Disneyland does.
Yeah, I guess that's what one advantage of being a locals park, you gotta freshen up some things so people can come back. So, but yeah, you're right. The tourists are probably like, "What's this? I don't
Yeah,
want to
it's like I
see
didn't
some.
come for that. Yeah.
I didn't come to see some Christmas all on Haunted Mansion. I want to see the regular Haunted. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
much more sense. But
So I have to ask you because we talked a little bit right now about Disney California Adventure and how
mhm,
they upped it up a notch, and it became very popular like during the Halloween season and everything. And a
mhm,
lot of people complaining, as you said, with the Haunted Mansion overlay of the Nightmare Before Christmas. But
mhm.
I think you said that you have uh, some choice words of your own based on this Twitter discussion that's going on
Oh
with
yes,
the Disney California Adventure.
California Adventure, man. If you guys look at the WDW Magic forums about just there's a post, an actual good post that said like a topic. It said, um, now that Star Wars lands complete and Avengers Campus opens next year, then Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway. They basically asked what's the next big thing and which park would get it. And instead of people giving civilized answers, I mean some did, but some just said, "Well, here's my wish list: one, turn DC back into a parking lot; two, do this; and two, I'm like, does that even make any sense? I don't understand. People, comment below. Do you want DC back into a parking lot? That's just like saying, what if I just turn Epcot back into a parking lot because I don't like it, or Hollywood Studios because they have just because they have 6 or 7 things, so let's just turn it back into a parking lot. Like, what just makes no sense? And I hate people that keep saying those. And they've been saying it for years too, as if it's actually gonna happen, even though it went through the whole remodel and it's getting all these expansion. Let's just turn it back into a parking lot. Like, like, would you really want, um, if you think about it logically, would you really want you losing like a whole park to a whole day at Disneyland just because you don't like what's there? Like,
And
there.
as I mentioned to you, I'm ready for a third gate, let alone demoting the second gate and then just having one.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're expanding more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
And
hard to believe that those people don't find not one thing, and that's fine. They can just not go. We have to turn it into a parking lot.
well,
Like,
and especially, and automatically, we know Disney's never going to do that. They put too
yeah.
much money into it already, and it's still evolving and growing with the Avengers Campus that's coming, which I can't wait to see what the. Not so much. I mean, I am curious about the Spider-Man attraction, but I'm more so curious about the big E-ticket going to
Hmm.
Wakanda. With
Yeah, that one. I'm very curious. There's a couple of theories out there that kind of fit. Apparently, on New York Comic Con, the director of that said it's like I guess it makes it seem like a Star Tours and a break, like if you're in the Quinjet and then yeah, you break out, then you individually start flying places,
yeah,
like, which
and they
is
said
very
this is a
interesting.
and they said this is a new, different type of technology that Disney has never used before. So it really has me pumped up and excited to the fact of that we didn't even get Rise of the Resistance yet, and they said that this is the ultra technological advanced
Hmm.
ride ever. So we didn't even get that yet, and then they're even going beyond that with Marvel, and it's
Yeah, see, I'm very excited. Also, I like how some people, at least on Twitter, compared that show building to our version of Guardians of the Galaxy show building, our big Target box. They call it that was hilarious.
yeah.
I wonder how all that's actually gonna be. It's hard to tell from the concept art. It looks like it's a pretty big show building, so it should be pretty. It should maybe a two-story one for extra capacity if it is a simulator type thing, or if it's a coaster simulator. Because I don't know if you saw my video on what should we call on what the Avengers e-ticket can be, but I saw from another YouTube channel that there's Vekoma, the coaster company that Disney works with a lot, is they being a new prototype, never before seen flying coaster that had some concept art that looked like it was like in like a techie Avengers lab, and they said soon to be announced, and the description matches kind of what something Disney would do. It said half of it will be a dark ride, like a storytelling dark ride, and then you would get launched and then fly through other indoor elements. So that's pretty
That's
interesting.
what I was wondering even too, that when they did the patent, the filing for the ride patent for the that pendulum type of swinging motion,
Hmm.
because a lot of people thought, okay, that's definitely going to be for Spider-Man,
Hmm.
but I wonder if that's going to be more for the sense of flying on these jetpacks, so to speak.
Yeah, like yeah, that would be really interesting. I'm can't wait for more info. I don't know when they would help within the next
But
hope
it
by 2021 they would start construction or 2020,
okay.
because by
But
city
it's
permits
starting
you
to
can
seem
find
like
out.
that Disney. It's starting to seem like Disney's going in this way of not just having. I mean, they're always about storytelling and immersive experiences, but it seems like that the queuing and the pre-show is now being extended to this very
Hmm.
long storyline that leads up to the ride.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Millennium Falcon and Rise of Resistance, they seem there's, which is good because then people are less bored or not bored in
Yeah,
line
I
or
like
anything
it.
like
I think it puts you more in the storyline.
that. Hmm. And if you don't have to, there's many ways to not use your phone or not use uh to be bored in line, like using the Play Disney Parks app. You can do that. You can do it, but it could drain your battery faster. So if you have more visual things to look at, you don't have to use your phone to do it. It looks, I think that's a great idea. And that's why I'm very excited to see the Rise of the Resistance queue as well as the ride. But I'm very excited that that lead up
I I
to the
think
ride.
Rise of the Resistance is going to change the whole playing field of Disney with like the queuing and the pre-show and the ride itself.
Hmm. Yeah, and even if you looked at the Spider-Man concept art, I think it looks like there's at least two pre-shows in that queue. So it should be pretty interesting to see how it works out. And I also like how they seem to be doing lots of or at least for Disneyland. I know that Disney World has, I think, a lot of them, but like indoor queues. So when it gets too hot, it just doesn't make an effect. You're just inside. Also, it's more immersive when you're inside.
Now, speaking with all these rides and attractions that we know everyone, including ourselves, are going to want to go on and experience, that there have been some additions added to Disneyland that
Hmm.
well Disney World has, that I really honestly don't know how to feel about it, because being out at Disneyland and being an annual pass holder now, I just have the privilege of using the Max Pass, which
Hmm.
for everyone out there that doesn't know what the Max Pass is, because I didn't until I actually went out for the D23 Expo, it's practically like the old traditional Fast Pass system where you would get the paper ticket, but now it's minus the paper ticket, but it's all digital on your phone. So I prefer it that way because you could literally continuously get a fast pass throughout the whole entire day, as to oppose the way that Walt Disney World does it is you're only allotted um, 3 fast passes per day until the final one is completed. Then you can get one at a time. But if the day is practically almost over and all the fast passes are gone, then it's defeats the purpose. So now that they have the I guess you call them like these kiosk areas in
Hmm.
Tomorrowland at Disneyland, that you could actually reserve a fast pass. How do you feel about that? Are you all for it? You doesn't really bother you?
Yeah. I love it. But before I get to that, I just want to say I'm not sure if Disney World does this or if you knew, but with Max Pass, if you also good thing about it is if you don't want one anymore, you can uh throw it back into the trash or the digital queue. And let's say there's you want to go on a fast pass for the Incredicoaster and it's at like 9, if someone doesn't want to go on it and throws the one for 3 p.m. back in, then if someone just happens to be getting a fast pass, you can get that 3 p.m. fast pass that someone else threw away earlier instead of the 9 p.m. one, which is pretty cool. It's almost like with the paper version, people just give them away. It's like a legal version of doing that. So that's one awesome thing about Max Pass. Not sure if you know that with the Disney World Fast Pass Plus, but I thought that was pretty awesome. But yes, the digital Fast Pass, I think it's great because for people who were basically for space, because usually we have 6 Fast Pass machines here. The digital Fast Pass covers all the Fast Pass Tomorrowland ones, so Space Mountain, Star Tours, and Buzz Lightyear. But Buzz Lightyear and Star Tours are already shared a Fast Pass thing, and it's always especially on busy days, very crowded area. I mean, the Buzz Lightyear extended queue kind of wraps around the Fast Pass machines and the strollers and people everywhere, and just kind of zigzagging. So I think it's great because now they can demolish if it works out. They can demolish those 6 Fast Passes and they took away all the benching from the seating from the people mover poles. So that's a good place they can add either stroller parking or like a reclaim some space for seating for in Tomorrowland that uh I think actually desperately needs it. There's not a lot of places to sit over there. And Space Mountain, I guess, doesn't really have. They can demolish those, but it's kind of in the out. It's kind of a in a away area. Like you wouldn't be going over there anyway. But it's just good because then you can it saves space, also saves paper instead of I'm sure they spend millions of dollars on that paper that they spit out and people just throw them on the ground, especially since they're reminder tickets and they don't collect them anymore. And then, but I think, yeah, and like it's also good because if you're, let's say, I'd say so like between Frontierland and Critter Country, if you want um a fast pass for Thunder or Haunted Mansion, I feel like, or Pirates isn't the best best, but or Splash Mountain. There's only instead of going running all the way across to each of those places, if they put them right where Pirates is or near that central area, you can get a fast pass for each of those attractions instead of running all the way across. And if you notice, they didn't build um fast pass, at least here in Disneyland, or they built a fast pass line for Smuggler's Run and Rise of the Resistance, but they didn't put any machines there. I don't know if you noticed when you're here at Disney, but they didn't put any machines as of even just covered up. So I think they had this plan in mind for a long time. Also, with the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, the Fast Pass changes, you probably saw on Twitter and even Orange Grove the video, where they changed the pavement, but they only just gave the Fast Pass area like a white refresh, and they even left the Tower of Terror theming on the machines themselves. So I think for Avengers Campus, if they demolish that, build a central area, a digital fast pass area for all the Marvel Avengers rides instead of these fast pass machines all over the place. So I think they have this plan in for quite some time because it would make sense because of I guess when they expected lots of crowding in Galaxy's Edge, they didn't want even more with these machines. They can go to Critter Country and get your Rise Resistance Fast Pass if you don't have the Max Pass. So I think it's a pretty good thing to reclaim space for seating and planters that they took away from Project Stardust, and also just reduce crowding and make things much more convenient.
Yeah, I agree. I think like just having like a designated area so everyone just knows where they can go for whatever fast pass that they want to get. Now, you just mentioned Project Stardust, which, some people knew about it, some people, and they thought, okay, it's like not like really one. Is Project Stardust still going on for future things, or was that only for the castle and
It actually still is going on. Actually, then the Tomorrowland Rocks thing is part of this Project Stardust because they're also they trimmed that curb over there as they did with the other side, and by the plaza in the shrinking just ever so slightly the gardens over there to make it a massive wide entryway
oh
into
wow.
Tomorrowland for future that should be done by I think the holiday. At the time the holidays start, November 8th, that should all be done because the Disneyland resort has been oh so busy these past few weeks. Definitely recovered from that summer dry spell we had. Um, but and Halloween definitely brought all those people back. And then so yeah, Stardust is still going on. Like mostly, I think this was the last major Stardust project going on. There was always envisioned to be after Galaxy's Edge opened because anticipated heavy crowds. So I think yeah, this is so far the last one. But there's other Tomorrowland stuff going on. But still not quite sure. There's the fast machines, but then they're building a staircase up to the Space Mountain outdoor platform queue. Some people think that maybe they're changing the queue a little bit so that they can separate Space Mountain from Pizza Planet so they can demolish that whole thing. Also, the facades for Star Tours and Buzz Lightyear are under wraps, and we have Santa Ana winds, which are strong winds that cause fires here in LA or Southern California. And so they had to take the scrims down. When they took the scrims down during that time, the wall was gone. Like literally took it apart. So some people think they are secretly, not secretly, but demolishing parts of the people mover tracks to go to those areas in preparation for a big Tomorrowland revamp, potentially starting in 2020. So we'll have to keep watching these Tomorrowland projects. Also, Autopia is going under refurb for about a couple of weeks, and I don't know why, but I mean, essentially, a part of me, since a whole bunch of people mover tracks over that area, I'm wondering if they're gonna do some prep on potentially taking those down. So I'll have to see all that.
Well, it's funny that you say that because that was actually my next question I was going to ask you. Is when I went out to the D23 Expo, I knew majority of the Parks and Resorts presentation was going to be primarily all about Epcot's transformation and everything. But I was still assuming that maybe not get a whole lot of information, but I thought at least they were going to set the stage as the announcement to say, in the near future, this is what's going to happen. But we didn't get any of that kind of notion with Disneyland. We only got the Magic Happens parade and the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway in Toontown. And that was it. I thought for sure we would have heard something with a revamp of Tomorrowland and or an expansion of Fantasyland. I thought we were at least just going to get the announcement. No details, but
Mhm.
just the announcement. But we got nothing. Not
Yeah,
a goose eggs.
I
So,
think yeah, a lot of people were disappointed with that one. Even me, I was like, oh man.
so I mean, I know it's going to happen. Now the matter is just when. Do you feel that they're going to do everything at once, like with the Tomorrowland revamp? Because in order to do that, they're going to have to close down that whole entire land.
Hmm.
Aside from that, do you think the northern part of Tomorrowland will eventually become the expansion of Fantasyland, so that whole entire section will just be closed off, or do you think they'll do it in phases?
Well, I I think they might do at least, well, maybe not the northern part, at least for the central part or the downtown part of it, the city part of it. Yeah, since all those buildings, like I said before, are all connected, maybe the people mover tracks are just together. I definitely feel like they have to do it all at once because I feel like if you close one thing and try to demolish one building, you have to demolish the other. Like Star Tours and the Starcade are connected to Space Mountain, which is connected to Pizza Planet. Since they're all connected, I feel like you have to just shut them all down, or else it would disrupt.
So do you think Project Stardust is actually the beginning process of the revamp?
I think so with the rocks part. Yeah, the second part, the rocks, because you notice they just like you guys, they took away our sign. So I wonder if we can get a nice new sign eventually. But we still have a sign, a marquee above the people mover tracks. But there's Imagineer or Tony Baxter. I think he was a few months back wandering the people mover tracks. There's just all these random scrims. I feel like it can't all just be tiny little things. I feel like it has to be finally all connected now that Galaxy's Edge is open. making minis run away railway doesn't really impact, since the construction is backstage, doesn't really impact the guests in any way, so they can do that without closing things. So I feel like also because and this is my personal opinion, but I think they should start at least with the southern part because there's just so much. I love Star Wars, but there's so much Star Wars. I mean, what if someone just does not like Star Wars? So they go Galaxy's Edge to see Star Wars, go to Tomorrowland to see Star Wars.
Right,
I feel like they
exactly.
need someone else. Like no one needs the launch bay there. Star Tours is a great, but they can do something with
I
that.
I personally feel that Galaxy's Edge should just be all Star Wars, and if whoever wants to go into the Star Wars section, that's where they go. As far as like with Tomorrowland, I think that they really should lose the Star Wars section there and come up with something refreshing and new. I don't know exactly
Yeah,
what, but they need to kind of take away this persona of looking into the future because the future is always changing. So
especially
they would have to
now.
keep on changing Tomorrowland like crazy.
Yeah, especially now because I mean, with the big tech companies and stuff, they have like new iPhone has new features every year. So I mean, that's like insane. Self-driving cars and that automatically takes away Autopia because I mean, who wants to go on an attraction with a self-driving car? You might as well just get on the people movers. I mean,
Yes.
like that just takes away the fun of that one, so that one can go. But if you think about Tomorrowland's like a Star Wars Land light. I get it was a temporary Star Wars Land while it was being built. But you have Star Tours, Hyperspace Mountain, the launch bay. That's three out of the 60, half, that's 50% of the land. And then you have a Star Wars store because it's Star Tours as the Star Trade. So you have about 50% of the land that is um, Star Wars, plus 100% of a Star Wars land. So you have 150% of Star Wars in Disneyland.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of a too
I
much.
I just say just yeah, take out the hyperspace mountain, just keep the traditional space mountain the way it is. Take out the launch bay. Honestly, take out Star Tours. And I don't know, like, what would you do with Tomorrowland? Like, what would you like to see?
Hmm. Well, I'm very jealous of your Tron coaster, so I want to take that, place it. But I do. It would be the most unique out of the ones that are available because I'd keep the lagoon, from the Matterhorn, and instead of that structure they have, I'd leave it open so it won't ruin the view of the Matterhorn, and so you can go over that arch, right, that they
Mhm.
have over the lagoon, but also get a view of the Matterhorn and Toontown and Fantasyland, and then you go into the show building. So I take away the arch, that big canopy, and just keep everything else of the track because I think that would be so beautiful. Even if people just doesn't that are too scared, can't ride it, they can stand where the Matterhorn is and actually take pictures of a video of the train coming over the lagoon and going back. I feel that'd be so picturesque right there.
As much as I'm the type of person that I like unique attractions in each resort, like I love Cars Land belongs at DCA. It doesn't belong anywhere
Mm-hmm.
else, you
I
know.
agree.
So, but with this case, I would actually like to see Tron also be put in your Tomorrowland because with that type of theming, you can't go wrong either way. No, 50 years down the road, that attraction could stand alone up
Mm-hmm.
in the Tomorrowland setting.
Mm-hmm. And even if I don't know what's tomorrow. Maybe they can do something like Disney Paris does with the Discovery Land. It's not really Tomorrowland, but
I
the
was actually
Discovery
just going to say
Land.
that too. I think as far as the title goes as well, Tomorrowland, I really think that it needs to change.
Mm-hmm. Because then, yeah, because tomorrow just comes too fast, and then
Yeah.
everything's automated, then it's not fun. And even if like Tron didn't make the most money at the box office, but um, if you can make a great if you make a great as I said before, if you make a great attraction out of anything, even if it's a terrible movie, but if it's good, you put some money and thought into the attraction, people will still go and ride it,
Yeah,
even if they hate
definitely.
the movie. Because people don't like the Cars movies, but they love Cars Land.
Yeah.
So that's why the notion that Disney and other parks to make their business decisions on this movie was terrible. We can't make a land out of it. Is really a terrible to me because if you put some money into it, you can make a land out of anything, in my opinion.
And Expedition Everest isn't even based off of a movie, and I love that attraction, that Animal Kingdom.
Exactly. Yeah, the original attractions with a lot of people like to call for because then the movies come out of the attractions. Speaking of movies coming out of attractions, what do you think of the Jungle Cruise movie? Well, do you think they'll add the Rock animatronics into the Disney World and Disneyland versions of the Jungle Cruise come
I want to say I
2020?
am very interested to see the movie. I really am. The trailer did grasp my attention. Um, there were some moments where I think, okay, there could have been a little bit more better acting in it, but I am still very, very excited to see the movie. But I personally feel like they should not touch the Jungle Cruise. Maybe put subtle things in the movie, but I don't think they should change the whole entire ride based on the movie. I still think they
Yeah,
leave
that.
that as it is because that's a classic attraction. Walt had his handprints on it, and I just love how the jungle skippers react with the guests and the corny jokes and everything. I think
hmm
if they were to change that into solely based on the movie, I think it would lose some of its appeal.
Yeah, I agree. Just like well, what do you think about the when the what was your first thought when they added Johnny Depp into the Pirates?
See, now with that, I wasn't too very opinionated on that because they incorporated his character, but already into the storyline of what the classic Pirates was.
hmm
So they didn't necessarily change the whole entire storyline. Oh, it's based off of the Curse of the Black Pearl or Dead Man's Chest or at World's End. They still kept the storyline just with the pirates and everything, and but they just incorporated Jack into that. So that I was
So
okay.
they did the same thing with The Rock. If they incorporated like a joke, maybe like a one
Yeah, yeah.
scene
See,
where
I
they
would
put
be
in a
okay with that.
joke.
Like maybe like at the end of the ride, maybe if they had an
Mhm.
animatronic rock and he just like is splurging out some jokes at the very end. I'd be
Mhm.
okay with that because they're not changing the
The story,
originality
yeah.
of the attraction.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'd agree with you on that one. Or maybe like a they can have like a the rock and like him looking at a rock and some kind of joke with an actual
Yeah,
rock. That'd be
exactly.
pretty cool. That'd
Like
be kind of funny.
like like, hey man, we have something in common.
Yeah, something little simple like that to add to the experience. That'd be a nice
Yeah.
touch to the movie, but also keeping the because that was an opening day attraction, wasn't it? At least at Disneyland,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
that was at Disneyland. Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, don't want to
Do you
touch.
feel do you feel that there should be because this is another conversation that's going all over social media and it's the battle between the IPs and the non-IPs.
Mhm.
And it's like there's people that are siding with the IPs, with the non-IPs, and then there's people that are stuck right in the middle and they say they really don't care as long as it's a good enough ride, they're being entertained, that's all that matters. Where do you lie
Yeah,
between that line?
yeah, I like it as long as it's a good enough ride. Like I said, like with the Cars Land and these things, as long as it's a good enough, like Rise of the Resistance, but as long as it's good enough, people may not know or care about the actual Star Wars story or hate Star Wars, but as long as it's an actual good ride, I feel like it'll do well. And at least that's when I like things
See, with
when it's
Rise of the
actually.
Resistance, my whole experience would be perfect as long as Kylo Ren's lightsaber shoots through the ceiling,
It's
dying, and I want to see that. And I hope,
Yeah, that part looks really cool. The going to the ceiling. So see if you should make things good like that. But I guess for the people who may hate a movie, an original attraction is always good because then that means that you'll never like run out of ideas because it's your own at that point. Then you can make like I said, based on like Pirates, you make a whole new franchise potentially based off that original attraction. I feel like original attractions work even well when they're attached to their own land type of thing. Like Expedition Everest has all of Asia. It represents all of Asia there, the Asia section of the park. And like Thunder Mountain, it represents the whole frontier land. So I feel like, if you have your own land, that's a good opportunity for an original attraction. It was making mini sort of really an original attraction. Can that be considered one? Because it's based off Mickey
Yeah,
shorts, but
it's
it's like,
yeah, but I would still.
but it's not like it's a movie or
Yeah,
anything.
it's
It's like,
not based off of like an IP of like a movie or, but I guess just based off of the character itself, like with his own trademark.
yeah,
But
so I feel like that can be kind
that
of
could go like
considered,
both ways. Yeah, I never really
yeah,
thought of it that way.
because I mean,
I do feel that, in time that Disneyland's Fantasyland anyway is going to be expanded. Um, but like talking about like the IPs, like I feel that probably why they didn't announce anything is because I still feel that Frozen is going to go into Disneyland's Fantasyland. I don't know why.
probably.
Somewhere. And I think that they're really waiting for this Frozen 2 to come out. Let it
Hmm.
be this monster blockbuster hit that it's going to be, just like the first one, and probably incorporate a little bit of both movies
Hmm.
into the land rather than just the first one.
Now, speaking of Fantasyland, I don't know if you heard what's happening with the Matterhorn here, but as you know, if you don't know, they're still fixing the side that fell off, so they're still
Yeah,
running at half
the whole entire
capacity.
time that I was there, I saw that they had the it
Yeah, the
blocked off.
scrimmed, yeah. So for a few months now, they've still been fixing that, and it's going under refurbishment for about 2 weeks. And the rumor is here that, well, within the next maybe 5 to 10 years, they're gonna have to tear it down and replace it. Because if you look at the picture, the wood is like coming off, like the actual structural wood is like kind of falling off of what they're doing. So they may have to tear the Matterhorn down or replace it with, or rebuild it with a new ride. So some people, and that's actually apparently the reason why Disney wanted to change it to a Frozen theme, because that was what they were planning on doing. They didn't want to, but they felt like they have to, because and the theme is like the North Mountain or something. That's what they're thinking eventually, or that's what they were thinking of like 2 years ago, as it was like falling apart. 60 something years old, it's like literally falling apart. So it goes to extensive refurbishments. Like if you like if we're living here, went to Disneyland, you at least once a year the Matterhorn's closed for like a month for an extensive refurbishment. It's never any smoother. Also, it doesn't really hurt me at all, but still not really any smoother. Um, so eventually they're just preparing basically to take it all apart because it's literally falling
I
off.
and speaking like just like of the IPs and everything, I don't know really how I feel about that. I mean, as far as needing to fix it up, definitely for guest safety and just for the attraction itself, whenever it would need a lengthy refurbishment or even a complete rebuild, I definitely can understand that at some point it's going to happen. And knowing how Disney is strongly with their IP, that they're probably going to think, well, if we have to tear this down and rebuild it back up, we're not going to keep it of how it was opened in 1959. We're
Mhm.
going to update the technology, update the track, update the mountain. So if we're going to do all that, we might as well throw an IP into the mix. And since it is between Tomorrowland and Fantasyland, and if they're ever going to do a Fantasyland expansion, and they already have the mountain format, that I could see it potentially becoming Frozen. And I know a lot of diehard Disney fans are not going to like that,
Oh no, no.
but I think maybe in 10 years or so, that maybe if Disney does it right, which I'm for sure that they will, with the overall theme of having a gigantic Frozen land attached to Fantasyland, I think it could be done as long as it's tastefully done.
Hmm.
But as of right now, I have to still have my Matterhorn. I can't help it.
Yeah, it's iconic because I guess it was they wanted to put or thinking of put something like that sleigh roller coaster from coming to Hong Kong's Matterhorn or Hong Kong's Disneyland, that same type of coaster system in the same
Yeah,
amount.
I did see that. So I think it would have almost somewhat of the same ride system as the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Yeah, something like that. So I'm like, that'd be interesting.
Well, I think at Disneyland they would probably be getting something like that anyway if they were to build Frozen.
Yeah,
But me,
I
I
guess
would
more
love to see
people.
Beauty and the Beast. I
Oh
mean,
yes, that dark ride would look
yes,
fantastic.
I don't care where they put it, Disneyland, Walt Disney World, California Adventure, wherever they put it, I just want it in one of the domestic parks because those audio animatronics look amazing.
Yeah, they definitely do. And these foreign parks get everything. It's
Yes.
ridiculous.
But I'm kind of leaning more towards that maybe the international parks get it first, see how it does, how popular it is, because look what's happening with Tron. You know,
Hmm.
Shanghai Disney had to get it first. People were flocking to it just for Tron,
Hmm.
and now we're getting it over here. So I'm hoping, crossing fingers, that it happens with Beauty and the Beast.
Same here. And so your 50th anniversary is coming. Are you gonna go visit during that time?
Oh, the 50th anniversary?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm actually planning a trip specifically for the 50th anniversary. And if all goes well, I'm kind of hoping that I could actually be there on October 1st.
Oh wow, wow.
So
So
that's
that'd be
literally, I'm
good.
walking into the lion's den on that one because that is probably going to hit capacity.
Like, and I heard there are new 50 new things to do. Did they announce those 50 new things yet?
No, they didn't know on specifics, but they did release the logo of what it's going to look like. It has this off color gold, sort of like the rose gold, like the
Mm.
moss ears that they have. That the castle is going to have the, uh, the rose gold look. They're going to have specialty desserts that are going to be gold, um, like cupcakes and different things like that. Then they said each of the four Walt Disney World parks is going to have something incorporated with the celebration, not just the Magic Kingdom. Now, they didn't say specifics of what that's going to be, but they said this is going to be the most ambitious celebration milestone Disney has ever tackled.
Oh wow, that should be very exciting. Especially if all those new rides will be open by then. Though hopefully we'll have nothing under construction. It'll be pretty awesome.
So I'm, as you know, and a lot of people don't know, but I am going to be eventually moving down into the Florida, um, Central Florida location in a few years. So I'm sort of kind of hoping that it's probably leaning more towards 2021 or 2022. If it is 2021, then I'll already be down there for when the 50th comes, so that'll really help. But
Hmm.
if not, and we move in 2022, then I'll just have to sneak a little trip down there beforehand.
Hmm. And you have the Premier Pass. Are you gonna keep renewing the Premier Pass forever, or you
As of right now,
just keep?
I am going to keep the Premier Passport just because Disney loves to throw secret curveballs and anything can happen at any time. And
Mhm.
just to know that I have the power to say, they're having this at Disneyland, I got to go out and see it. Well, I got
Mhm.
my pass, so
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart. Because yeah, so I was thinking of getting one of those, but I can never ever make it out to fly out to Orlando like very quick like that.
so
So I'm like,
you've never been to Walt Disney World.
I have when I was younger,
Oh, okay.
but I remember it, like super well. It was after Exposition Everest opened, so it like wasn't too long ago.
So
But I
about
remember all four parts.
so it was about 13 years.
Yeah, yeah, 13 years, and I distinctly remember that my favorite was Animal Kingdom. Second favorite was
Oh, yeah,
Hollywood
yeah, same
Studios.
here. Animal Kingdom,
Yeah,
I say, out of all the four parks, it is so unique and so different that you won't find it
yeah.
anywhere else.
I love the safaris,
Yes.
uh, and I love Everest, and I want still I haven't been to obviously Avatar, but definitely want to ride Flight of Passage. Let's get something like that over here. And then
You definitely should try to come out for the 50th.
yes, that's what I was thinking, because like all those new things will be open, and I'll get to experience Tron without waiting 3 more years potentially for it. Like, wow. And then Epcot, even Epcot. Well, I want to ride Guardians of the Galaxy. This reverse launch looks very interesting, and it's
Yeah,
peak
I'm
night.
very curious about that. And then also where the seats will rotate depending on what the guests have to look at.
Yeah, and if we looked at the track, it looks at least the incline looks pretty steep for that reverse launch. So that's I'm very interested how fast it will be going to get up there. And then the project must obviously high tech projection screens and inside the building. So that probably that one will probably draw lots of attendance at Epcot, plus the new show in 2021.
Yeah, I think with the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, excuse me, rewind, rerun, that it's definitely going to give Rock and Roller Coaster a run for its money, and I think that's where probably I feel that they'll still maybe keep it as the type of ride system with the roller coaster and the front launch, but I think as far as like the rock and roll Aerosmith type theme, I think that is probably either going to change into the Incredibles or Monsters Inc.
Probably, yeah. Did you see that? I don't know if you saw that. I think it was Attractions Magazine article where they took a tour of the Glendale Imagineering, and they're already working on concepts on to what to retheme Rock and Roller Coaster as when the contract with Aerosmith uh, expires. So and one of the things they did mention was incredible. So that'd be a pretty. It would be interesting if they keep the same like the same cars, like the train, or if they change them to that storytelling type train system, still with the same track and everything, but the
Yeah.
storytelling cars, so that they're able to
Well,
turn.
because it was supposed to be Monsters Inc. Back, I think it was almost like 10 years ago that they were working on the concept art. They already had the concept art for Monsters Inc. It was supposed to be like
Mhm.
the door sequence,
Mm.
and it had something to do with like the licensing or contracts or something that just didn't come through, and it just got put to the shelf. But we know Disney, even though it gets put on the shelf, it never gets thrown out. So
Wow, poor I didn't know that one. So poor Monsters Inc. They got thrown away twice. There's supposed to be a Monsters Inc. door coaster and the Hollywood backlot of DCA was supposed to be a Montropolis and the door
yeah,
coaster.
that's I think that's what it was supposed to be. So I think they
Yeah,
tried it at Disneyland,
yeah.
didn't work. Then they tried it at Disney World, didn't work.
The poor Monsters Inc. just can't catch a break, and then with the Hollywood backlot expansion that potentially will happen, Monsters Inc. probably go away. It really sucks. I like Monsters Inc. I wish they had
Yeah,
more
I
of a
mean,
presence. And
there's a lot of great Disney movies and Pixar movies that have such potential that could be great in the parks, and they're not given the opportunity.
I have because yeah, they really seem to focus on those cash cow ones like Toy Stories all over every parade, and then Frozen's out every parade,
Oh yeah,
and then those are like the two main ones that they just
yeah.
continue to
Frozen
throw
like
out shit.
represents Disney, and Toy Story represents Pixar, and it's like as long as you have those two entities, it's
Yeah, it's quite funny how they have so many. Like a Disney Plus has 600 titles coming on opening day, and yet only Frozen and Toy Story are the only ones they can choose from those. Seem to choose to make a representation.
yep.
Every parade, every fireworks show. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to make a under the Epcot. Although, what's Epcot's new show about? Will it include any Disney characters, or is it just?
With Harmonious, it's supposed to incorporate because the concept art it shows Hercules, Moana, and a few others it showed in the concept art, which I can't think of. But it's supposed to incorporate more Disney, but of how they're all connected
Ah, okay.
harmoniously.
Funny. Interesting. Okay, so we'll have Disney characters, and that's so what's the one now?
The one now is Epcot Forever. It's more based on the history of the park, like with the old classic songs and the music, like from
Ah,
Horizons and
have you seen that one?
Cabaret. I was down there actually for um, opening night, for which we waited for, but we it was such a long day and it was so hot and it was packed. It was crowded for the opening, and So we really didn't stay for that, but we did watch it on the way back. We watched the live stream, and it was
Ah,
good. It was nice. It's not necessarily something that I would continue to say I want to constantly keep on seeing it, but I think it's a nice gesture just to pay homage to Epcot, and it's only a short temporary show before Harmonious comes, so they weren't going to do nothing major with it.
mm, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, well, it's good they have something to fill in the gap, as
Yeah,
we have no parade to fill in our gap. So it's, you know,
they
we have
need to
the
bring back the night
cavalcades.
parades. We need the night parades back at both.
Oh, yes, at both parks. I miss my paint the night.
Yeah,
Like,
like
did you see that when you were here?
I did. Yes, I did. I did see
Love that
Paint the
thing.
Night. I saw Paint the Night when I came out for the 60th, and I love the music. I love the floats. I love the lights. Me personally, and a lot of people may disagree with me on this. You can comment below of your thoughts, but I would prefer a night parade over a day parade.
Oh, me too. Like, wow. Especially because that's the time, kind of finished your day. Not finished, but it's nice
Like with
break
Magic
time.
Happens, they could have made that an awesome night parade. Like the color scheme that they gave Mickey and everything.
Mm,
Think of how that would look at night.
yeah, that would be pretty awesome. Like, wow, but yeah, I liked our 60th anniversary. We had lots of entertainment. We had the 2 times the daytime parade, then we had 2 times the nighttime parade with Fantasmic and the fireworks and Worlds of Color. It was a great entertainment, and it brought out the record crowd. So it shows
Yes,
that
it did. It really did.
entertainment brings out the crowd. So come on, Disney, put some entertainment in the Galaxy's Edge. Brings out some record crowds.
Yeah, I mean, they need, I think, more entertainment than ever. And it just seems like it's being cut a lot. Like, even the small things.
Mm-hmm.
I like walking around the parks. And even if I don't stop and see it, I know it's there. I can hear it. I can
Yeah, you
glance
can
at
hear it. It adds to the atmosphere. Like
it. Yeah,
they cut our bands on Main Street, so
exactly.
like it's and the Pixar Philhar or Pixarmonic and Pixar Pier, that little band show.
And I
That
am
was
glad I
just
did get to see that before that ended. When I was
yeah.
out there this past summer.
Because if you're walking towards the Incredicoaster or the Fun Wheel or Inside Out, you'll hear it. You don't have to stop by and look at it, but it's nice to hear when you're walking. There's not even a lot of places to sit and watch it, but just walking along. Nice atmosphere. Nice atmosphere. Come on, Disney.
Definitely. Well, I
Mhm.
think on that note, I'm very glad that you were able to join me, and I'm glad we had this discussion of all things Disney. I mean, we talked about Disney World, we talked about Disneyland, we covered a lot, and I definitely want to have you back on so we can have more discussions because
Yes, anytime.
as Disney grows, so does our conversation.
Exactly.
So everyone, again, this is Ethan, our theme park wizard. You can follow him on Twitter and definitely go over and check out his channel. He has some very good Disney content and videos, and even at Universal as well. He covers
Yes.
a lot in the theme park industry because again, he is our theme park wizard. So, but not Harry Potter. He's a different kind of wizard.
Yes.
So, until then, everyone, it's never a good day unless it's a Disney day. See you later.
We did it.